All right, hello everyone, and welcome to the information session for the BSW Professioneers application for external applicants. Can everybody hear me all right?
Yes.
Yep.
Lovely, thank you.
Yep.
All right, with me on the call today, I've got Stacy Schul and Leanie Joya from the registrar's office, and they'll be able to answer any questions that you might have about how documents are uploaded. But first, we'll go through the presentation, and I'll show you some screenshots of what the entire process looks like, and then we'll take questions at the end. This meeting is being recorded, so I can post it to our website later, so anybody who can't make it is also aware. So we're going to cover the admission requirements, the application process, some frequently asked questions, and then the contact information for those who can help you through this process. So this is the application process for students who already hold a child and youth care diploma, a 3-year child and youth care diploma from an Ontario institution, or have completed an undergraduate degree. That's also for non-social work Windsor students and students with more than 2 transfer credits. The admission requirements are successful completion of 20 courses towards your degree, or successful completion of the CYC diploma or undergraduate degree by August 31st, 2026. For academic qualifications, Windsor students need to meet a minimum 70 GPA in their social work classes, or if they're in the combined programs with women's studies or disability studies, that means that the 70% minimum applies to both the social work and the women's studies classes or disability studies classes. They also have to meet a minimum 67% cumulative average. So that means all of the other classes have to have a minimum average altogether of 67%. University graduates have to have a minimum 70% cumulative average in the last 20 courses taken. And Ontario CYC graduates have to have at least a minimum 3.0 cumulative average, not including placement. The deadline is December 1st, 2025. You can use the link in these PowerPoint slides to access the application package. These PowerPoint slides will be sent out to everybody who RSVP'd to this meeting. If you are a non-U Windsor student, the first step you need to do is apply through OUAC. So that's the Ontario University's Application Center. You apply for the BSW degree at U Windsor, and then it takes about 2 weeks for that to be processed by the registrar's office, at which point you will be sent your own UWinsight login information and student number. At that point, you can submit your application package to the University of Windsor. All documents have to be sent through the UWinsight. The only thing that's not sent through the UWinsight is the 2 reference forms and letters. So when you look at that admission application, you'll see that there's a rating sheet your referee has to fill out, as well as a letter that they should write supporting you. We need 1 work or volunteer reference and 1 academic or work reference. Either one works. The application form itself has to be signed, and there is an equity section in there that I strongly urge you to complete. So if you're Indigenous, if you have a disability, if you're a person of color, or a woman or LGBTQ, please check that off on the equity sheet. That does go towards your final score for the application and can assist you with getting into the program. The second part is a personal statement. That's a maximum of 4 pages. The prompts for the personal statement are within the application package. Within the application package is also the professional experiences form. So this is where you're going to list any work experience you have that's related to social work in any way, including any placements that you might have done. So for those of you who have completed the CYC, your placement can be listed here. Then there's the study plan worksheet. This is for you Windsor students only. If you are an undergraduate degree holder or a CYC diploma holder, you don't need to complete this. This just shows which classes you've already taken. And lastly, the application summary checklist, which just lists all of these items to make sure that you are able to, you have followed all of the instructions and have submitted all of the documents. The registrar's office does ask that the application package, excluding the reference letters, of course, be submitted as one document. It's easier for them to review your materials if it's just in one PDF document. So within the UWin site, what happens is you have to click on within your student homepage, the My Academics link, and then select Change of Program Application. This is where you're able to specify exactly which program it is that you're applying for. So you're going to go to create a new application. You're going to complete all the required fields. And this is where you're able to select if you're in the Honors BSW program, so just social work, or if you want to be in one of the combined programs, so the Honors BSW and Women's Studies, or Honors BSW and Disability Studies. You need to select one of those three and then submit the application. Once you have done that, within the next 24 to 48 hours, within, again, your UWin site, you're going to get a little to-do list. So within the applicant homepage, you're going to see that under your application status, there is a to-do list. And this is where you can now enter in all of the documents that we ask for. And again, there is a very detailed how-to at this link that's on the slide, and it shows you all of these screenshots so you can follow them. All right, so one of the most important things to remember is that all parts of the application have to be submitted by December 1st. That includes your reference letters. So reach out to your referees as soon as possible. Now, because of the process that is involved in making sure that your documents are correct, your to-do list might remain incomplete until the Office of the Registrar actually verifies all the documents, and that can take a while depending on how busy they are. It may never say complete if you don't meet all of the requirements. For instance, if maybe there's a transcript missing, but we will still evaluate your application. Is there anything that you want to add, Stacy or Leanne, to this information?
I think you covered everything. We just wanted to emphasize, like when submitting or uploading the application package, as much as possible, it should just be in one PDF document. So it's for the ease of processing or evaluating or reviewing the application or the documents.
Right. Thank you. So I will just quickly go through each of the parts of the application package in a little bit more detail. So the first part is the application form. It's 3 pages where you provide your contact information, your degree information, the equity section, and where you sign that everything is accurate. The professional experiences form, if you have absolutely no experience whatsoever, you can just check the appropriate box and submit it blank. But if you have experiences, you should really put them in. So this can be volunteer experiences, for instance, helping out at your child's school or at your place of worship. It can be work experience in anything that is social work, even just social work adjacent, like maybe you were a porter at a hospital, or you worked at jail, for instance, maybe not necessarily at the social service side, but you can still include that. It's better to include more of what you've done and let the reviewers determine if it's relevant or not, than to underestimate everything you've accomplished. Make sure you do not leave the number of hours blank for each experience. Provide an estimate if you don't know the exact number. For the personal statement, again, it's a max of 4 pages, double-spaced, and you're going to discuss 2 things. You're going to discuss your understanding of the social work profession and how it's different from other helping professions. So show reviewers that you know what social work is. And for the second part, you're going to discuss how your work, volunteer, community engagement, or life experiences helped you decide that social work was the career for you. And that's going to be the majority of your personal statement at approximately 3 pages. I will caution you now, the use of generative AI software to complete this section is strongly discouraged. We want to know what you think and how you feel, not how computer software feels about social work, which is very, very generic and often inaccurate. And then we need that study plan for all of the Windsor students. So show us what classes you've already taken and which classes you will be taking in winter 2026 and summer 2026 to get to that 20 course minimum. And lastly, that application summary checklist, which you check to make sure that you have submitted all of the required points. For the references, they need to be sent directly to transcripts@uwindsor.ca with the subject line being your BSW reference and student number. Again, if you're not a University of Windsor student, you need to wait until your OUAC application goes through and you get emailed the student number before your transcripts, or sorry, before your reference letters can be processed. Again, there's 2 forms. There's the reference form and the reference letter. You need to remind your referees that they have to send in both for the reference to be complete. We strongly discourage you from submitting references from friends, peers, relatives, clients, or your own personal helping or health professionals. You need to find letters from co-workers who were not your direct reports, preferably your supervisors. If you don't have 2 work experience references to ask, there's plenty of time until December 1st. Start volunteering with your kid's school or with your religious organization or one of the many helping organizations here in Windsor, and ask your volunteer coordinator at the organization to write you a letter in the last 2 weeks of November. The letter from that person will be rated much higher than something from peers or friends, even if they've only known you for a brief period of time. Some frequently asked questions we get is, when will you know if you've been accepted? We will receive the applications in around mid-January from the registrar's office, at which point each application has to be reviewed and rated by 2 different faculty members. Each faculty member assigns each application a score, which we use to rank those applications. We send our admissions decisions to the registrar's office for processing in late February or early March. And you'll receive the decision shortly after that. The offers of admission are conditional upon your GPA meeting the minimum requirements. So if your GPA at the time of application meets the minimum requirements, but your GPA at the time of the start of the program in September does not meet the requirements any longer, we cannot let you start the program. So make sure that for those of you who are currently doing courses, that you keep up your grades. If you don't get into the program, you can try again next year. Just increase your GPA by retaking some courses. Or you can consider the discipline that you are currently taking as a degree completion option. Typically, we get about 130 to 180 applications a year, of which we admit 100 students. We'll take questions now, but if you have any questions that you want to ask, you can refer them to me. I'm the BSW program coordinator, or to Leanne Neufeld. She is our BSW program secretary and the one who has been sending you email reminders. All right, that's it for the information. Do we have any questions?
Yes. Yes, we have one.